Okay, you know what? I have this counter down, but screw it. I'm just going to jump right into it. Hey, everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. I apologize on both Twitch and YouTube's end for this. I'm just going to say shit show because the first link I had, it glitched out, and there's no point doing that countdown. You guys waited long enough. We're just going to jump right into Iron Man right away. But before we get into that, I just want to make sure you all are hearing me. I just shut down Safari so my computer wouldn't just die out, but I want to make sure everyone can hear me in the chat. I'm not getting any responses from you guys. No problem, and technology can be a real itch to work with, says Razorbike. Thank you. Okay, it looks like everyone on YouTube's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, it looks like everyone's on YouTube. No one Twitch yet, which that should be fine. It says I'm live, so hopefully everything should work out fine. I want to make this perfectly clear for the YouTube crowd. When the movie's done, head over to Twitch because I'm going to try to attempt my first raid at another channel. Basically, from what I understand, since I'm still learning the Twitch angle, a raid means I'm basically sending you guys over to another Twitch channel to give them more viewers. So we're going to do that once the movie's done. Speaking of which, let's get into this. This is Marvel's Iron Man. We are in the week of WandaVision. And since I found out that they're going to be releasing the first 2 episodes on the same day, this Friday, might as well just review both of them in one video for the public YouTube. You'll get individual episodes of both of those and the rest of the season on patreon.com if you subscribe to the $4 tier. But enough about that. I have wasted your guys' time plenty. Let's hop into Iron Man from 2008 right now. All that stress of getting this to work out. And we can finally get underway with this masterpiece of a comic book movie. God, this movie's 13 years old. Huh? There's that classic Marvel logo that we saw, or that Marvel movie logo that we saw back with Captain America. I should make it perfect. I should emphasize one thing. The first time I saw this movie, I arrived late to the theater. I'll pinpoint when exactly I came into the movie. But, yeah, first time I saw this, I was late. So I missed this completely. Also, I want to mention that after my Batman Arkham Asylum Let's Play on Sunday, GMK 5000 followed me. So thank you, GMK 5000. Even if you're not watching it live, thank you for the follow. That is a great introduction to Tony Stark. Like AC/DC, that's glass of scotch. I'm doing good. Outside the fact that this stream was a bitch to set up, we're all getting underway. You know, compared to how Robert Downey Jr. looked in Endgame, he's pretty baby-faced in this movie. MySpace. That goes to show you how outdated this movie is. So yeah, again, this movie, I totally missed this when I first saw the film on opening night. Favorite lightsaber duel, the end of Return of the Jedi. Oh yeah, MySpace still exists, but when was the last time you ever heard MySpace be brought up in a conversation? Let alone with the giant social media purge of Trump's cult. What a way to start this movie. Just right at the gate. Okay, I realized that my first attempt at the Twitch stream when it was just, or the stream when it was Twitch, is up for some reason on Twitch. So I'm gonna have to delete that to avoid confusion from people joining in on Twitch. Oh yeah, remember when Jeff Bridges was in the MCU? Meanwhile, Obadiah Stane is sinisterly in the background. Hello, Terrence. Wait. I almost said Terrence Stamp. Hello, Terrence Howard. And there's the classic Iron Man theme from the 60s. All right, that old video on Twitch is off. And we are live fully on Twitch, so hopefully there's no confusion for everyone else who decides to join in. And if you are joining on Twitch, welcome. That curtain is so tacky. But then again, it's Vegas, so I wouldn't be surprised. God, he is so good. And like, it's so weird knowing how different Tony Stark was in this movie compared to Endgame. And he's so casually, like, nobody else can just casually throw money away and say, or lose money and say, I think we're going to be fine. Razorback on YouTube says, I forgot how much of a playboy he is in this. Yeah, I mean, like, Bruce Wayne uh, only acts like the playboy as a cover for who he actually is. Tony Stark is the real playboy in terms of comic books. Yeah, serious playboy. And this was actually the point where I walked in. Because again, for those who are just joining in, I saw this movie. First time I saw this movie, I saw it late. Like, I arrived to the theater late, and it's at this point where I walked in. So I had no clue what was going on, or at least like, why this is a weird place to start this movie. But in terms of like Tony Stark's personality, I didn't feel like I missed anything because of what they would do later on. God, that's such like that is such a crazy house that I if I just had a dump truck full of money, I'd get a house like that right off the coast of Malibu. Yeah, that like right after Tony and Christine made love, that's why I walked in. Wow. Wow, Pepper has shade. And you know, like I never understood that line the first couple times I saw this movie. So if you're just joining in, whether it be Twitch or YouTube, first of all, if you're joining in on Twitch, welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, when the movie's done, I want you all to head over to Twitch, and I'm gonna try to commence my first raid. I don't know what channel I'm gonna be picking, but but after the movie's done, we're gonna raid a channel. So as soon as the movie's done, if you're watching this on YouTube, head over to Twitch. That way you can be part of this raid. Yeah, it's like it's so weird to see where Tony and Pepper started, and Gwyneth Paltrow, like I think she was probably like in her 30s when this movie came out, but compared to now, looks real. Like both these actors look really young by comparison of today. And 13 years isn't that long ago. I mean, it's not like 20 or 25 years. Miraculous how there's no traffic in that part of Southern California and no tickets. Oh, are you leaving Gzilla 100? Oh, that sucks. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, you're not taking off. Okay, good. Also, I gotta say, with this movie, and I don't know if I really want to bring in this comparison, but it has some Michael Bay qualities to it. Like just the fact that your character is a playboy, uh, that whole sequence as well. Like this, the first bit of this movie kind of reminds me of the first Transformers, only in the sense like the military's heavily involved. You got a bunch of gorgeous women everywhere. You got a main character who's kind of arrogant. Um, but no, it's just an awesome movie. I don't know where I was going with that train of thought. Like he is so like I don't like. I'm sure at this like later on in the MCU, I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. did some improv because this is the movie that like brought him back into stardom. Considering that Robert Downey Jr. was most famous for staying not like since what was I gonna say? Yeah, I would assume. Let me start that all over again since I screwed that up. Huh? Yeah, James Bond 007 on YouTube says the first act of this movie is like a Michael Bay movie done well. Pretty much. Except it's not as glossy as Michael Bay's movies. But anyway, like I'm sure later on in the MCU, Robert Downey Jr. probably had a lot of input in terms of how Tony Stark acted or what lines he delivered. This first movie, I'm not so sure because he wasn't a megastar, and he still had problems with alcohol. Like he was still known for problems with alcohol and drugs. So I would think all the great dialogue in this movie has more to do with the script than Robert Downey Jr. improving. But man, Robert Downey Jr. knows how to take this script and just make these lines work wonders. So yeah, like they do a recap of how Tony Stark got captured and how he ended up in the cave. And I just, again, because I came into this movie late, I thought to myself, wow, you're really jumping into this right away. Like, no setup at all. And then when I saw the movie a second time, and actually arrived on time, I was like, oh, y'all actually did set this up. Yeah, for like as cheerful as Tony Stark, as cheerful Tony and carefree as Tony Stark was at the first part of this movie, once we get to him in the cave and he has the arc reactor implanted into his chest, it's pretty horrifying. William Clark on YouTube says there was a ton of improv in pre-production. They didn't have a full script prepared, so the cast was able to make up their own dialogue. Okay, okay, that makes some sort of. I think I've heard of that somewhere. I know there was a lot of improv done on Thor Ragnarok, which we've got a ways to go before we get to Thor Ragnarok. But even then, the script itself, in terms of this being a full blown redemption story for Tony Stark, is fantastic. Oh yeah, I know the like because you got to update these stories. The original, yeah, the original origin for Tony Stark was that he was captured in during the Vietnam War. I have not seen High Top Films video on Iron Man, but welcome Jedi Prime to the stream. Folks, if you are watching this on Twitch as well, well, or if you have a Twitch account in as well as a YouTube account, I would really appreciate it if you also opened up a separate window on Twitch and let that run. If you prefer to watch it on YouTube, though, because I need to continuously build my Twitch uh, channel. GZL 100, better redemption arc than Kylo Ren Ben Solo. Uh, I would agree in the sense that I never thought Kylo Ren deserved to be redeemed, but I've that's just me. And after the MCU, we are going to be doing the Skywalker saga, so I will get to that when we get to that. See, James Bond 007 says, I remember being excited to see this movie after seeing the TV spots, and I remember going to the theaters to see it when it came out. I was 6 at the time. See, I actually had the opposite reaction. I really wasn't looking forward to this movie. Partially because prior to Iron Man, I really wasn't into Marvel or DC. Like, I love Spider Man because I mean it was Spider Man. You couldn't get away from uh, the phenomenon that was Spider Man, whether in the movies or comics. Hulk was just a cool ass monster. I I'd paid it. I'd seen Batman, Superman, Justice League animated series uh, back in the day, but never really was invested in comic books, or at least comic book movies. And then also, this movie came out a year after one of the worst years for comic book movies, 2007, with Ghost Rider, Spider-Man 3, and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. So in my mind, I was just like, yeah, this is not going to be good either. And my dad took my brother and I to see this when it came out. Um, and I wasn't like begrudgingly going to see it because before I saw it, I ended up seeing reviews that it was really good. I'm like, okay, well, I'll at least give it a shot. And this was the movie that got me more into comic book movies. Yeah, apparently in Star Wars, you could be a horrible monster and commit genocide galaxy wide, and people will give you a second chance. Oh yeah, Spider-Man 3, out of the 3 movies that came out 2007 in terms of comic book movies, Spider-Man 3 was undeniably the best one. Because I'm sure even if you hate Spider-Man 3, you'd take it over Ghost Rider or Rise of the Silver Surfer. The score for this is so good. One of the things that I do that kind of bugged me uh, in the early days of Marvel Studios is that they would never keep the same composer for each movie. Um, like this composer, I can't pronounce his name off the top of my head, but he composed Game of Thrones and is doing the Eternals. He would get replaced in Iron Man 2 by John Derbley. Blank on who is Jon Favreau's main composer, and then he himself would get replaced by Brian Tyler for Iron Man 3. Alan Silvestri would get replaced for Captain America: The Winter Soldier by Henry Jackman. Alan Silvestri would get replaced again with the Avengers by Brian Tyler and Danny Elfman for Age of Ultron. And yeah, it wasn't until Phase 3 where there would be more consistency with these movies, at least in terms of the music. John Debney, thank you, William Clark. Spider-Verse Prime on YouTube says, sadly, the only movies that I saw in 2007 were Shrek the Third and Transformers. Oh, I am sorry about that. Gzilla100 says Godzilla versus Galactus. No disrespect to Godzilla, but Galactus, because I mean Galactus is the eater of worlds, so I mean it's silly enough to play Marvel versus Capcom 3 as a bunch of Street Fighter characters and see them go up against Galactus. No, I'm sorry, that's even more ridiculous than Godzilla trying to go up against Galactus, but yeah, Galactus would win. Oh, that is like, it's so sad when you realize the true meaning behind those words. Turner Jenkins, Godzilla versus Batman. What do you think? Like, you could be Batman all you want, but yeah, you ain't lasting long against the King of the Monsters. And this movie also came out in a weird transitional period when it came to Marvel comic book movies because um, the main man behind like the X-Men movies, Spider-Man movies, Daredevil, Hulk, Fantastic Four was Avi Arad. Um, and I think he still has some involvement with the Sony Marvel movies. Since now that's the only studio that can make Marvel movies outside Disney. And and yeah, this like Avi Arad still uh was a producer on this movie and The Incredible Hulk in 2008 with Kevin Feige, and then Kevin Feige just took over the entire MCU solely from here on out. Oh yeah, there was a not to get completely off topic again, but there was a Godzilla versus Batman planned for like back in the 60s with that. Like I don't know if Adam West was going to be Batman, but Toho Kingdom has all that info. Yeah, this movie is also kind of all over the place in terms of who the villain is because you think, okay, you know what? Maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but it's very similar to Captain Marvel, where you think one character is going to be the villain, and then later on it turns out, oh, this character is actually the film's villain. Except I don't think, except it doesn't come across as telegraphed, or maybe it does if you know these characters, the way Captain Marvel feels like, because you could tell there's something wrong with like I said last week, there's something wrong about like there's something you could look at Jude Law's character and realize, yeah, he's not completely a good guy. Oh, that like I'm gonna be excited to see how Shang Chi uh, brings back the Ten Rings and the true Mandarin. And also bringing back Captain Marvel. Um, it's so weird watching this movie. If you're watching the MCU in chronological order, like given how like big Captain Marvel is in terms of like other planets, the cosmic realm of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, uh, going to this right afterwards feels so weird because this is very grounded by comparison. It's a cave with one way in or out. There's no way you could possibly lose him. Don't open that. And there you go. Sorry, folks. I'm just looking at my phone just to see how many viewers I have on for the Twitch stream. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna make it out. James Bond 007 says, going from Iron Man to Captain Marvel when watching the MCU chronological order is like when you watch the MonsterVerse in chronological order and go from Skull Island to Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. Not really, because, like, it's Skull Island is still, like, self-contained. It's still a self-contained movie. So there's not a whole lot going on in that movie compared to Godzilla vs. Kong. Or I'm sorry, compared to the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. So it's not that big a leap, the way going from Captain Marvel to Iron Man is. Or if you, for Fast and Furious fans, if you decided to watch the first movie and then just jump to the 7th or 8th movie. God, that Mark 1, like, I know it's like a primitive suit, but it looks so cool. And the fact that it's practical makes it even cooler. And this was actually one of the last movies that Stan Winston worked on. He was partially responsible for making the Iron Man suits look as great as they do. And you're dead. Huh. Yeah, that was going to work out. Like that looked like when he was firing the as how it should have ended put it, tank missile, that looked like a CG Mark 1 suit. Razorbike on YouTube says, I spent so many hours with the Mark 1 suit playing the prologue for this game. for the game to this movie. Oh, that game was awful. Oh, yeah, this is very parallel. Since last week we started off with Captain America. This is very parallel to the first Avenger. How the mentor to the hero basically dies in the first act. No, okay, you say pacing, James Bond 007. No, I'm talking about in terms of like how much stuff is it, like the world. Not I don't care about pacing in that case. Because yeah, going from uh like if you watch the MonsterVerse in chronological order, going from Kong Skull Island to Godzilla, it's not really that big of a leap, especially considering that in the order they came out, Kong comes right after Godzilla. But yeah, it's just a bigger leap going from Captain Marvel to this, especially considering that Captain Marvel wouldn't come out until 11 years after Iron Man. And it's okay, Razorbike. We all have those video games that we're ashamed of to admit that we liked. Like one video game that I still have actually that I hope to do as a Twitch stream once the channel gets a little bigger is Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure. Like I still have that game, and it's dreadful. But again, I would love to when the channel on Twitch gets bigger. I would love to play through that. William Clark says, I forgot how quiet the first 40 minutes of this movie was, as we see a major explosion happen. Yeah, it is pretty, I mean, it's a pretty, like, subtle setup. Amazing that, like, the suit shattered all over the place, and yet, not a broken bone in his body. But yeah, you know what? That's movie physics. And even though we didn't know it at the time, this is the same universe as a genetically enhanced super soldier, a demigod, a talking raccoon, a giant tree that says only three words, a cosmic powered space woman. So, so by comparison, it's not too far fetched for him to have survived that crash. Yeah, they never. You never see any. You never see any more movie-based video games now. Like, did those just die out? What was the last? Okay, what was the last movie-based video game that came out? And I'm talking about on consoles and PC. Like, we're not counting mobile games. What was the last that movie-based game that came out? Oh no, Robert Downey Jr. has walked into the set of Ishtar. I never saw Ishtar. Is this what it looks like? Is this something that happens in Ishtar? Three months of captivity. It's a model of the YF-22 Raptor. Basically that plane just looks like a stealthier looking version of the F-18, except flown by the Air Force. Oh, Ishtar's terrible. Oh, that's a same. A shame. Hello, Colson. Okay, there's something that doesn't make sense. Something that doesn't get addressed the more the MCU evolves. Um, they constantly say that Coulson constantly says that they're working on a name for Shield, but Agent Carter and Captain Marvel, and even some of the flashback sequences in Ant-Man, they refer to Shield as Shield. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I never said goodbye to my father. Put a pin in that, folks, because that will come up in a later movie. It's a great question. Such a basic question. Yeah, they say it's funny that a long running criticism of the MCU up until phase 3 was that they're no good villains, but Obadiah Stane I thought was a good villain. I never played the Captain America video game, Captain America Super Soldier, but I did hear that that was actually like good, one of the better movie-based games, and like they did a great, they made a great Spider-Man game. Two, I'm assuming Spider-Man Miles Morales is great as well. Somebody needs to make another Captain America movie, or hell, remake Hulk Ultimate Destruction. So I'd like to know something. Um, who like what they do to Tony Stark's chest to get rid of that massive hole once they removed the shrapnel in Iron Man 3? Like, did the skin tissue reconstruction in Age of Ultron fix that hole in his chest, or I don't know if we really get an answer to that. Oh wow, this guy. Again, it goes to show you what era this movie came out in. Foreseeable future, as in one movie. Yeah, I actually never. I played Hulk Ultimate Destruction, but I never completed it. And I would love to. I would love to see an upgraded version of that game. This moment, like I know it's a metal tube. There's definitely some CGI work done, but any type of operation, uh, just kind of makes my skin crawl. Yeah, it does. Ugh. Let's hope. Let's. Why don't you stop convincing me that it's gonna be okay? Just put it in me. Whew. You know, the only way I even remember Mad Money is through. I don't remember the host's name, but the big feud that he had with Jon Stewart from the back in the Jon Stewart days of the Daily Show. Oh, that sucks that you have to head off Gzilla 100. But yeah, you have a good night. For everyone else, once again, I'm going to emphasize this. If you're watching this on YouTube, when the movie's done, head over to Twitch, and I'm going to start a Twitch raid. I don't know what channel we're gonna raid, but I'm gonna set up a Twitch raid, and y'all need to be on Twitch in order to make this raid work. And for everyone else on Twitch, just stay right where you are. Oh, Turner Jenkins, sorry to see you go as well. But yeah, y'all have a good night. And once again, apologies that this stream started out on a very rocky note and a little later than I wanted to. But hey, 57 minutes in, and we're doing pretty good. Man, I've always been jealous of Tony Stark because he has all this like unbelievable, totally unrealistic technology at his disposal that I wish was real. Yeah, Terrence Howard, like he really like it's. I wonder how things would have been if he had stayed on as Rhodes. Um, I don't think it would have been as different of a series if Ed Norton has stayed on for Bruce Banner. But I always thought Don Cheadle looked more like Don Cheadle looked better in the suit, even though we didn't actually see Terrence Howard in the War Machine suit. I just some reason I couldn't imagine him looking as good in the War Machine suit compared to Don Cheadle. Oh, that's interesting. So in the comics, the Mark II of the Iron Man suit was actually just a gold version of the Mark One. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a wide shot, so something's gonna go wrong. That's still that always gets me, yeah. Because again, it's like filmmaking 101. Like you have a wide shot, um, especially with that much space above the character. Something's gonna happen. Oh yeah, this movie. I remember seeing this for the first time and getting a lot of laughs out of it. Like not just for myself, but the audience was laughing as well. Yeah, one of the things that drew me to this movie more than any of the previous Marvel movies was like it was more humorous, and felt like it had more heart and humanity than some of the other movies. Because like the Fantastic Four movies were just flat out goofy and not really all that funny. And Spider-Man, like as good as the first two Spider-Man movies are, I always thought they were just too serious for my taste. But that's just me. And I thought this movie worked better than all the other Marvel movies prior. Yeah, only rich people in Southern California would get pizza straight from New York City. Yeah, that's 1%. That's pretty strong for 1%. Since a bulk of these comic book heroes get mainstream attention from the movies, I wonder how many people after this movie came out were like, you know what? I don't want to be Batman anymore. I want to be Iron Man, because I know that definitely happened with me. Because really, when you think about it, Batman, um, like a lot of people claim they'd love to be Batman, but you have to stay up most nights. You have to really like treat your body like a temple. You risk your life every time you go out there and fight crime. With Iron Man, you've got a badass suit, and you have the playboy attitude that's not an act the way Bruce Wayne does it. Like I think the suit really does it for me in terms of who wins, Iron Man or Batman. In terms of who I'd want to be. This sequence is like the flight test is just so badass. Oh, Santa Monica Pier. Be nice to go back there when the world is no longer a crap hole. If I'm correct, I think those are Jon Favreau's kids. Yeah, that like James Bond 007 on YouTube says his reaction to being able to fly around like that is so genuine and perfect. Yeah, because that's the reaction any one of us would have had. I mean, I think after the initial like screaming and panic of being in an enclosed space, uh, several feet in the air would be terrifying. But once you actually get the hang of it, then then uh, you start reacting like this. Yeah, that was supposed to be Santa Monica Pier. Because Malibu's not that far from Santa Monica. Oh, not the cars. And there's a Stan Winston effect right there. Proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Yeah, let's. Yeah, it's so great that that would be used for more than just the finale of this movie. Foreshadowing. Although Jarvis, you're not going to be the one who's accompanying Tony on those expositions to other planets. In fact, your replacement wouldn't be doing that either. Yeah, I could just imagine because Stan Winston passed away a year after this movie. No, wait. No, wait. He passed away 2008. So I think a month after Iron Man came out. And I could only imagine all the other effects work he would have done if he had lived longer. Because again, like, he created the Terminator, the Predator, the Xenomorph Queen, the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, Pumpkinhead. God, that's such a great looking suit. Is pulling up to the Walt Disney Concert Hall, and there is no valet. I'm pretty sure the Walt Disney Concert Hall doesn't accept valet right there, because those are some those cross streets right there are too heavy for that to happen, especially with LA traffic. Oh, Stanley. Hi, Colson. Again. Yeah, that little piece of continuity doesn't make any sense considering that they've been calling it S.H.I.E.L.D. ever since its inception. He wasn't listening to a fucking word Coulson was saying. Oh yeah, there's a cat on my lap again. Exactly. William Clark says that is a beautiful dress. What a great present. I honestly can't tell if you're sincere or if that's sarcasm, considering that this series has shown that Tony Stark is not the best when it comes to gifts for Pepper. Yeah, I like how they kind of hold off on making Tony and Pepper an actual couple until the end of the second movie. Jedi Prime says the fact that Robert Downey Jr. in the 2000s was an alcoholic and that Tony Stark is a character is a playboy fits so well that Tony Stark is a different character compared to Peter Parker or Steve Rogers. Yeah, that's what made Robert Downey Jr. so perfect for this role. Is that he pretty much is Tony Stark. Oh, by the way, did you know that he's the villain? If we haven't made it clear before, he is now. We'll get that fixed. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. We'll fix all that when I get back. Really? William Clark on YouTube says, I just discovered that Christine was actually a reporter for the Daily Bugle in the Spider-Man comics. Huh. Interesting. That's interesting that that would be the case and that she shows up in this movie. One of the things that I really don't like about the fact that Tony Stark's suits in Infinity War and Endgame are like the little pixelated suits that get put together is that you don't get to see like each little part being put on Tony Stark like you do in these earlier movies. Like I miss when he puts on the suits like that. Yeah, the MCU doesn't really I don't feel like the MCU gets any more grounded and realistic than that moment right there. And then you've got Tony Stark coming in kicking ass. Yoink! Oh yeah, then he hides. This is the only time Tony Stark has ever hid his voice in the Iron Man suit. Nice shot. And you totally missed. Take missile. And there's the thumbnail for this watch party. Oh, there's Coleman Reese from The Dark Knight. Funny that that actor would show up in the two best comic book movies of 2008 and two of the best of the genre. Ultimate selling point of that suit. It could take cell phone calls. Now I wonder if like they named those two F-22 pilots, Whiplash 1 and 2, before they even knew that Whiplash would be the villain in the next film. They probably didn't, but who knows? Daquan Tate is in the YouTube chat. Welcome. Says, how you doing today, Alex? Sorry I wasn't here early. I'm doing okay. Doing good. I'm here watching Iron Man with a bunch of people. I actually started the stream late due to some technical difficulties. So yeah, if I had to start at 6:30 because the original YouTube link was not working. If it had been working, I think we would be near the end of the movie. Oh yeah, those old ass ringtones. Oh yeah, flip phones. And there goes Raptor. Amazing how in movies the pilots always get out just before the plane explodes. Fletcher Crumbly, hello, welcome to the stream. I don't think, have you been on the stream before? Because your name actually doesn't seem, uh, many of the previous streams, because your name actually doesn't look familiar. Really? Okay, Spider is Prime. Spider is Prime says that the ringtone was the Rhodey's ringtone was the theme for the '90s Iron Man cartoon. I'll have to rewatch that opening to the Iron Man cartoon because that theme's not very familiar to me as the '90s Spider-Man cartoon theme. Apparently, it is that simple. Now I always wondered what that building is because for the longest time, I thought it was LACMA, or at least the old LACMA building. For those of you who are not native to Los Angeles, that's the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, which is going under major uh, remodeling. Like they literally just demolished the entire museum, uh, or the main part of the museum, uh, last year. Uh, okay, some of y'all have been telling me your favorite lines in the movie. There's Cap Shield. This is my favorite line in the movie. That line never fails to make me laugh. That line, uh, yeah, never fails to make me laugh. Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing. All right, so once again, I want to remind everyone if you are watching this on YouTube, I encourage you to head over to Twitch once the movie ends, because after the end credit scene, I'm going to start a Twitch raid on another channel. I don't know who will be raiding, but this is the first time I'm going to attempt this, so I want you all to be there on Twitch for that. And if you are watching this on Twitch, thank you for your views. Thank you for your support, even if it's just simply by watching the stream. And yeah, just hang tight where you are when we get to the raid. DeQuantate says, what other live streams will you be doing in the future? Well, I'm going to, in terms of YouTube, I'm going to be doing the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then I'm heading into the Skywalker saga for Star Wars, and then the 8 Harry Potter movies. But in terms of Twitch, you can head over to twitch.tv/The Real Mr. Robinson, or no, it's actually just Real Mr. Robinson. And you'll be able to see my schedule. I'm doing these streams. I'm actually doing these watch parties on Streamlabs, so I can stream to both YouTube and Twitch. But on Twitch, I have my own schedule on the weekends. I'm sorry, where I'll just be playing video games, pretty much. sound maker thingy. I guess that's a way to describe it. I have watched the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. That's actually how I got mainly introduced to Carol Danvers back when she was known as Miss Marvel, not Captain Marvel. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a great cartoon. The animation wasn't as up to par as with DC's animated stuff, but it was a good show. Oh, Razorback, you're taking off. Oh, that's a shame. Again, sorry. Um, yeah, sorry the stream was running a bit late, but hey, you got since you got an AP bio test tomorrow. I hope you ace it. I hope you're well prepped for it, and hopefully you stick around. Hopefully you come back for Iron Man 2. Hopefully you're here for the whole thing, and hopefully I start on time. But yeah, yeah, take care of yourself. I guess it's a weekend. 'Cause there's nobody in those offices. I'm sure nobody will be alarmed. Nobody will be aware of that little trigger. Amazing that Stark technology is able to just instantly translate like that. All right, looks like I only have 4 viewers left. I mean, if we have, if there are so few of you guys watching right now, then maybe I'll hold off a raid until Thursday, because it doesn't seem like there's enough people that would really. I don't feel like we're gonna have a lot of people in order to do a successful raid, so we'll hold off Twitch raid until Thursday after Iron Man 2. Plus, the end credit scene in Iron Man 2 is really not worth sticking around for, so that'll be a little easier to do. But yeah, we'll push the raid for Thursday instead of tonight. Yeah, he's just evil. To quote Chris Cox when uh, during with the old Spill.com review for Iron Man, you could tell by the fact that he's bald and got a graying beard that he is no good. Oh, I didn't know that Obadiah Stane had a son. Well, yeah, because they are doing Armor Wars for Disney Plus. Shit. Oh, here comes my second favorite line in Iron Man. Oh yeah, and that guy. It's funny how that character and that actor shows up in Spider-Man: Far From Home. With the box of scraps. And you just gave that man a horrible idea. Yeah, Earth's Mightiest Heroes ran for only 2 seasons, and I watched a little bit of the spiritual successor, Avengers Assemble. It's not good. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, it's not. That's not a good thing that people would want, unless you're actually like straight up villains. Only 3 people watching. That's between YouTube and Twitch. To be honest, that's kind of depressing, but whatever. I mean, the great thing about YouTube is that it's going to be up much later, so that'll be fine. We're all fine here. Hopefully, Iron Man 2 will work out better. That's my least favorite of the MCU. Yeah, this movie does go into some dark places. And again, I think like even though this movie's definitely more humorous than some of the other moments, like I said earlier, it was that weird transition period between the Avi Arad produced Marvel movies and then the Kevin Feige produced ones. Well, he's just asking for trouble. Although, like this really does fall into the like cliche of villains giving the monologue, but I mean, he thought that Tony Stark was just gonna die. So I guess is that a Shield base because the Shield logo was just up on that wall. Okay, got 4 people watching. That's good. Yeah, Jeff like like back when the biggest criticism these movies had was the lame villains, which I didn't think Marvel's villain problem was that bad. People seem to forget about Obadiah Stane. I really think it was more like Jeff Bridges' performance that helped that character. Man, he is so bald. Like, that's a weird observation to make, but he is really bald. Yeah, I can only yeah, Marvel animation, especially ever since Disney bought Marvel, just doesn't hold the candle to DC's animation. Like Spider-Man's not like I'm Ultimate Spider-Man. I watched a little bit of it and really didn't care for it. Avengers Assemble was a little better, but not by much. And I like some of the other shows are just kind of meh, especially considering that like compared to what DC's been doing, especially with Harley Quinn, which again I can't emphasize how great that show is. Oh, is Spider's Prime is the Ironmonger suit in the comics dark blue? That was a weird zoom out. So, since we know what happens later on in the franchise, I wonder how many of those Shield agents are actually Hydra. Yeah, that is the coolest thing ever. Thank God that hole was already there. Yeah, sorry, Terrence Howard. There's not going to be a next time for you. I feel like if I had started this watch party earlier, if it started when it was supposed to, I feel like I more people would be watching at the moment. I probably should just shut up about the amount of people watching at the moment and just focus on the movie. Okay, in the comics, Stain built the Ironmonger suit after he got control of Stark's company. Okay. That kind of isn't that kind of what happens here? Like he's trying to remove Tony Stark out of the equation of the company at least, and then he builds the Ironmonger suit. Yeah, DC. Yeah, it's so ironic that like Marvel got bought by Disney, which is the pretty much the king of American animation companies, and yet Marvel's animated projects are just kind of lackluster. I mean, even with the '90s X-Men, Spider-Man, and Iron Man cartoons, they still kind of they still kind of failed in comparison to Superman, Batman, and Justice League. And now we're out in the street. Just put it down, Tony. Yeah, okay, I gotta say this. Like, I love this movie, but the climax of this is not really the film's strongest aspect. Yeah, the climax is just kind of weak. Although I do like how there's no music. Um, at least for the first bit of this fight. Really, people thought that these were just two robots fighting each other. Okay, now all I'm thinking about again the way how slow Stain's suit is flying. I immediately think back to how it should have ended. Like, um, wow, are you serious with that takeoff speed? Yeah, that battery's draining like hell. Oops. The Ironmonger does not abide, man. I've only seen a handful of the X-Men cartoon from the 90s. And I mean, I don't think I'd be able to say if it's better than the movies for my taste, but really there are only three. There are three X-Men movies that I actually really love. First Class, Days of Future Past, and Logan. Or four if you count Deadpool, which I think it's fair to count Deadpool in that list. Which, by the way, the fact that Kevin Feige says Deadpool 3 will be in the MCU and rated R, that's going to be great. That's going to be great that they're not changing Deadpool. And to be honest, I think with Disney Plus being a thing, I feel like whenever they get around to rebooting the X-Men in the MCU, it would probably work better as a Disney Plus series. Because there's so many characters that it's probably better to just make it as a series than a series of movies. Again, especially since they're going to be introducing characters in between Disney Plus and Disney Plus and the movies, like, because the grunting from staying in the Ironmonger suit's kind of silly, but as I was saying, since they're gonna bring in since they're introducing Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, and then she's gonna be in Captain Marvel too. I think X-Men would be better if it started out as a Disney Plus series, and then they can bring it into the movies. Okay, first I'm gonna get to what William Clark said about the icing problem is one of the most underrated callbacks in the MCU. What else? Where else was that call? What else was that mentioned in besides this Iron Man movie? Because I can't think of another instance where, like, I can't think of another instance when it was mentioned. And who do I think will be the next major villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, I know Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is going to bring in Kang the Conqueror, but I don't know if I don't know what they're going to do with Kang the Conqueror afterwards, because I can't imagine he's going to be a one-time villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. If not Kang the Conqueror, then probably Doctor Doom. A lot of villains, there's a lot of villains that love calling Tony Stark a prick. Giant beam in the sky. Did it before the Avengers did. Yeah, again, the climax is just kind of like you watch this movie and go, really? That's it? Still amazing movie. Yeah, I think Galactus. I mean, I didn't say Galactus just because I feel like uh, they already announced King the Conqueror, and and Doctor Doom's gonna have to play a big role in the MCU, and they might have to be the warm up characters before you get to Galactus, but. they need to do both Galactus and Doctor Doom right, because I'm sorry, a giant ass cloud. Come on. Oh yeah, it's cool. I really like that they're gonna do, in addition to Armor Wars, they're gonna do Ironheart. So be curious to see uh, how Ironheart works into the MCU. Yeah, it doesn't. Again, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have that be a running gag at this point in the MCU when they've been calling it Shield since the 40s. William Clark on YouTube says, I might have asked this earlier, but did you see the deleted scenes for this movie? One of my favorites was the extended last scene between Tony and Stain. It's been a while since I've actually seen the special features for Iron Man. That deleted scene doesn't ring a bell, so I'm gonna have to check that out when I get off. So yeah, again, we're just gonna hold off the Twitch raid until Thursday because I want to have more people on board. And 5 is better than 3, but think I'd like to have a lot more people, even if it's maybe 10, before we do a Twitch raid. Christine is not impressed. That seems like such a great response from Tony Stark. It's such a so fits his egotistical personality. Oh fuck it, y'all want the truth? That is such a great way to end this movie. Like just boom. First time in a comic book movie where the hero just gives away his secret identity to the world. Yeah, Avi Arad and Kevin Feige. And playing Black Sabbath's Iron Man. Ramen Dwadin. I think I butchered that. Sarah Haley Flynn, the Sarah Haley Finn, the unsung hero of the MCU, for uh, being the person who cast all the, or basically cast all these people. The Frightful Four. I'm not too familiar with them. Um, this might sound like a stupid question, but are they pretty much the evil Fantastic Four? Yes, so, still love this movie, even though there are a handful of MCU movies that have come out later that are better. The main I think we were all in agreement when Winter Soldier came out that it was better than the first Iron Man. But I think the thing that really sealed the deal for me was that the climax of Winter Soldier is just better. Yeah, so weird how Paul Bettany starts off just voicing Jarvis for 4.5 movies. And then halfway through Age of Ultron, he turns into the Vision. And this weekend, we will be seeing him and Wanda Maximoff in WandaVision. So, yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in to... yeah, again, like I said before, we're just going to skip the Twitch raid tonight. We'll do it Thursday. I want to thank you all for joining this watch party for Iron Man. Sorry that there's a lot of confusion starting this stream, and that might be the reason why there's such a low view count at the moment. But again, those of you who watch this, thank you all. I hope you had a good time. Come back here Thursday, whether it be YouTube or Twitch, as we'll be doing Iron Man 2, which is my least favorite MCU movie, but still not really a bad movie. Spiders Prime on YouTube says, yes, just the Wizard and the Trapper and the 2 other members. Just random members, huh? Yeah, I'll have to look up more about the Frightful Four, because that's a villain group I am not familiar with, huh? So yeah, with Iron Man 2, it's scheduled for 6 p.m. and I'm hoping to actually start at that time and just make sure everything's in place. And hopefully we'll get more people watching this Thursday. Once again, if you are on YouTube and you're not subscribed to Twitch, please do so. I have a full schedule, streaming 4 times a week. This weekend, I will be doing Red Dead Online and GTA Online, because why not? I think it'll be fun. And if you are watching this on Twitch, I encourage you to go over to youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson, where you get tons of movie reviews. When WandaVision premieres on Disney Plus, I will be reviewing the first 2 episodes on YouTube. As for the rest of the episodes, I will be reviewing each of them individually on patreon.com at the $4 tier. So if you want to help support the channel financially and see those exclusive reviews, you can go over to patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson. And yeah, you'll be able to see exclusive content that no one else gets to see on either YouTube or Twitch. But if you cannot support the channel financially, then that's totally fine. Your subscriptions on YouTube and Twitch, or follows in this case, since nobody's actually subscribed to me on Twitch yet, they are more than appreciated. So yeah, we're just gonna sit out the credits until we get to the big jaw-dropping scene that I actually didn't see in theaters. In fact, I saw Iron Man 3 times in the theater. Yeah, I saw Iron Man 3 times in the theater. Not once was I even aware that it was part of a bigger universe, or that they were planning to set up the Avengers. It wasn't until the Incredible Hulk mid-credit scene where I realized that, because Tony Stark just pops up in the Incredible Hulk early enough before you leave the theater. And then when I bought this movie on DVD, because I was still buying DVDs back in the day, I was like, wait a minute, there's this whole scene at the end with Samuel L. Jackson that I just missed? What the hell? like part of me was mad that I missed out on that scene, but I think a lot of people did as well, unless you were really anticipating this movie and researching every little detail that came from it. Because nowadays, well, back in the day when movie theaters were open, if you walked out of the credits in an MCU movie, people would look at you like you were nuts. Like, what are you doing? You should know by now that you stay for the credits. Yeah, this cat is popping up every now and then. Yeah, she does not look like she's happy right now. So yeah, anytime now. Oh, Hans Zimmer is a music producer on this. And huh, did not know that. Yeah, we're almost done with these credits. One thing I'd like to say before before the end credit scene pops up. Could you imagine being Paramount? You're distributing these movies, and you're like, oh man, they're planning an Avengers movie. We're gonna be the ones to distribute it. That's gonna be so awesome. And then a year after this movie and the Incredible Hulk comes out, Disney goes, yes, we'll buy this franchise, and Paramount's like, god damn it. Oh my god! Yeah, I know I saw this movie in the theaters, but I would love to be a fly on the wall. I would love to go back in time and just see the audience reactions to that end credit scene when Nick Fury pops up. So yeah, that about does it. Join me Thursday at 6 p.m. on both YouTube and Twitch for Iron Man 2 watch along. And Thursday, we're going to try to attempt a Twitch raid on another channel. What channel will it be? I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to Thursday. And until then, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only